Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, a deep dive into the capabilities of Peregrine's reporting feature. My name is Laura Miller. I noticed that I know several of the people who are attending today. I'm glad that you're able to join us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Dillard. I am a client solutions advisor here at Peregrine. I work with our existing and potential partners to help identify any gaps they may have and determine how our solutions can improve the quality of their institution. We are joining you this morning from Gillette, Wyoming. It is snowy out here, so I'm not sure what your weather is like, but here we are expecting another 7 to 17 inches over the next couple of days. So we have started winter, even though it's just fall.
It's wild.
So I would like to start our presentation with a poll. Let me launch it here and just take a moment to answer the question about your client admin experience. So the client admin is the client admin site where all of your data is stored. So you might be a Peregrine client that has received a client admin tour from one of us. You might be a Peregrine client that has not received a client admin tour, or you are not currently a Peregrine client, but you wish you were. So we'll just give it a few more minutes to let some other people answer, and then we will look at those results. So it looks like right now we have about, it's changing. Okay, I'll just give a few more seconds for a few more of you to answer that. Okay, so it looks like 33% are Peregrine clients that have received a client admin tour, 50% have not received a client admin tour, and 17% are not Peregrine clients currently. So thank you for taking the time to answer that poll with us this morning. So at Peregrine, we believe your data belongs to you. Our assessments are much more than an exam. They are a solution. The value of an assessment is it offers evidence that illuminates a department's program strengths and weaknesses. Assessment data represents a flashlight, not a hammer. They shine a light on what is working well in the program and point out strengths rather than being a blunt instrument to show where educators or students have failed. Through quantitative and qualitative methods, your academic program can expand on bright spots and take corrective measures to mitigate any weaknesses. Surprisingly, 80% of a data analyst's time is devoted to cleaning and organizing data, and only 20% is spent actually performing analysis. This so-called 80-20 rule illustrates the importance of having clean, orderly information before you can interpret what it might mean for your organization. Thankfully, if you use Peregrine services, we do a lot of the work for you with the data that comes from any of our assessment services. Most importantly, remind yourself of the purpose of analysis. The purpose is to find areas of improvement and act upon the data to improve the quality of education and better serve students each time. Clients enjoy 24/7 access to our client admin site. With this access, not only do clients have access to all the reports, they also have immediate access to student registration information and results. There are both individual and summative reports to choose from to analyze and report the results. Peregrine provides you with the option to compare your results to other institutions through aggregates based on institutional demographics and view historical data to see the effects of program changes over time. Our report wizard makes generating the report simple and easy. All reports require the same steps with just a few variations depending on the report. Report criteria can be stored and loaded later for ease and efficiency in generating reports term after term and year after year. Providing excellent customer service and support is one of our biggest priorities. You will always have access to a client engagement team member to answer your questions happily and help with whatever you need. A client admin tour will be provided to walk you through the report options, your data, and how to navigate the client admin site.
Using a scatter plot is a good way to see if there are any outliers that could impact your data. One of the common recommendations we make to our partners is to look at and filter their reports by exam time. The internal analysis report scatter plot shows that scores go up as time spent increases. This is very helpful as sometimes students get a bout of senioritis. when they're confronted with an assessment at the end of a program, and therefore they don't try as hard. With this report, you can easily filter out scores that are outliers. For example, if a student took less than 20 minutes to complete a 120 question exam, it's a good indication that the student didn't try and they were just clicking through. Their data should not be included as part of overall results, although it is good to make note of how many students do click through the exam to determine how you could get students to take the exam more seriously. Our recommendation for an outbound exam is to provide an incentive such as points or a letter grade based on completion as well as their score. Most of our reports can be generated in PDF, HTML, and Excel format. The PDF version provides colorful graphs and charts for you. HTML will allow you to copy the charts and graphs into another document if you'd like to. And then Excel provides you with the raw data. The individual results report is a spreadsheet of your students' results listed alphabetically by last name. The report provides overall topic and subject level results, as well as information such as the amount of time the student spent on the exam, any time spent navigating away from the exam screen, and their percentile rank based on all students located in the US. This report is commonly run by faculty to obtain and review student results.
When an institution utilizes a pre-program and post-program approach to assessment, they can see the percentage change or knowledge gain from when students entered your program and when they ended. Administering an inbound assessment provides you with a baseline of your students' knowledge before they are exposed to any material in your program. Peregrine's Pairwise report compiles data from those who completed both the inbound and outbound assessment. With this report, you are able to see the direct knowledge gain students receive in your program in each of the topic areas. One of our most popular comprehensive reports is the internal analysis report. With this report, you're able to see your students' results at the topic and subject level. Now let's see an example of the internal analysis. Here you can see one of the topics on the exam was business finance. That particular topic is further broken down into more specific subjects, as you can see here. It's good to know that on our exam, students receive 10 questions for each topic, and the number of questions they receive in each of the subject areas will vary. So a student may receive 3 questions related to tax rates, taxes, and tax code, but 0 questions related to interest and dividends. That is okay, and I will share why. With this table, you can drill down on what specifically your students are excelling in or struggling with. You will also see the number of questions offered in a particular topic and your student's frequency correct. If a student was only offered 1 question related to asset valuation and inventory and got it wrong, that is not enough data to determine if this is an area needing improvement. However, if you look at the results cumulatively and see students underperformed in that subject when 4,000 questions were offered, you can make a judgment. The report also provides a percentile rank, and you can see how your students collectively compare to other students within the aggregate that you select. In this example, it is compared to students located inside the US. By organizing your data this way, you can easily answer the question, what does the data say about student mastery of a subject matter?
It's good to understand where your student scores well and where they struggle, but it puts it into perspective when you can compare those results against the results of other schools. To have access to that type of data, you will likely need to adopt an assessment service that allows you to benchmark. This is really difficult to do with an assessment that is developed in-house and is not nationally normed because other institutions are not using it. Because Peregrine serves more than 500 institutions and has administered nearly 2 million exams, we have the data available for benchmarking. Our partner institutions can address this question using the external comparison report. The report allows you to choose up to 5 external benchmarks. For example, you can compare against pools of school data based on regional accreditors, institution type, including private, public, faith-based, etc., or based on program delivery mode, such as traditional, online, and blended. When both an inbound and outbound exam are used, The external comparison report will show how your students improved from inbound to outbound and will compare that percentage change with the percentage change of your chosen benchmarks. It's important to do further internal analysis to understand the why behind your overall results. A really good way to understand why your data presents the way it does is to utilize program cohort comparisons. For example, in this chart, you can compare groups of students based on major. You may find that you have a large number of marketing majors, and those majors do poorly in a specific topic on your summative exam. This information will help you look at the program requirements for that particular major and determine if and what changes need to be made to strengthen that area. With our assessment, you can have an unlimited number of cohorts, which could include off-campus versus on-campus, traditional versus non-traditional students, different campus locations, and delivery modalities. Finally, you are also able to compare your cohort results against up to 5 external benchmarks.
Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second. I see Anita's hand is raised. So if you want to unmute or if you want to type your question in the chat box or comment in the chat box. Hi, Anita, do you still have a question? Okay, we are going to have time for questions here kind of in the middle of our presentation, so we'll pause. So if you want to save them for then, you are certainly welcome to, or if you want to raise your hand, we are happy to make this a conversation. Okay, thanks. So generally, changes made to a program produce a positive result, but that cannot be assumed. After you make a change to your program, you will need to measure the impact. A great way to do that is to complete a longitudinal analysis, which will show you how your changes have impacted results over time. With the longitudinal report, you can select up to 4 exam periods at a time to view this historical data. What longitudinal analysis allows us to do is see clearly how we have impacted the quality of education. Over the years, Peregrine has worked with many institutions that were able to use their assessment data to make changes that had a positive impact. Peregrine analyzed assessment data through an examination of exam results using aggregate data and included it in a white paper. If you would like a copy of our white paper that shares many more examples and provides our research finding after analyzing results from more than 500,000 exams, please let us know here in the chat and we would be happy to send that over to you to read. We do have a digital copy as well as a printed copy. I like printed copies. I like things to be in my hand, so I'd be happy to mail that to you. So just let us know if you would like a copy of that. So also our assessment allows you to generate a report that is unique to Peregrine called the Response Distractor Report. This report provides information on why students answered a question incorrectly and determines if it's a fact-based error, concept-based error, conclusion-based error, interpretation-based error, or calculation-based error. The report will draw your attention to the areas where students have a larger concentration of a certain type of error. In this example, we see there was a higher percentage incorrect within the financial statement analysis subject under the accounting topic that are attributed to calculation-based errors, meaning the student selected the incorrect response based on an error with a formula or a math-related calculation. The next most common error for this subject was the interpretation-based error, meaning the student selected the incorrect answer based on an incorrect interpretation or misperception of the question or response.
Also under our supplemental category of reports, there are several aggregate reports that will provide you with a real-time look at the size of the data, the number of exams and institutions within a data pool that you're benchmarking against, as well as the institutions included in those pools. In other words, if you want to know what schools are included in the located in the US data pool, our client schools and aggregate report will provide you with a list of those schools. When analyzing the data, it is much easier to answer the what questions than the why questions. Using quantitative data can help you understand the why behind questions like, what areas do students excel in? What weaknesses exist in skills or knowledge areas? With our assessment, we have made it possible for you to include a complimentary student exit survey with your assessment and provide you with student survey reports. This is a no-cost value-added feature and a really easy way to garner a high response rate from your students and collect an indirect measure of their perceptions, attitudes, feelings, and values. It is 100% participation for students taking the assessment because students are presented with the survey before they begin the exam questions. The trends we find from direct measurements will usually be explained by the results from indirect measurements. Finally, we recommend making the outbound assessment 10% of a student's grade, 5% based on their completion and 5% based on their score. The reports provide a relative interpretation of student competency, table and chart, or if you have at least 50 completed exams, you can run a grade scale report to see some suggested grading curves based on how your students have performed on the exam. Value skills is a 360-degree evaluation process used to evaluate soft skills. This assessment tool uses the perspectives of peers, supervisors, advisors, mentors, and colleagues to provide objective and accurate measures of relative skill levels as expressed in the workplace. The value skills also comes with in-depth reports. A student report includes the template for an individual action plan. The student scores can be compared to the group scores as a relative indicator of strengths and weaknesses. When students conduct a self-assessment, they can compare those scores with the results from the evaluators in a side-by-side view. The student report also includes an action plan for students to use to work on the areas where they need improvement. A group report summarizes all results and is used to determine group strengths and weaknesses. It can also help identify areas for improvement for individuals scoring significantly below the group average. A final option with the reports, if you conduct a pre-assessment and a post-assessment using the value skills, is a comparative report similar to our pairwise report that compares the students' growth over time from the time that they took the pre-assessment until they took the post-assessment.
Peregrine continuously ensures the validity and reliability of our assessment solutions. We do this by contracting with subject matter experts who are mostly terminally degreed faculty. Also, our test banks undergo regular psychometric analysis and are constantly reviewed for relevance as well as quality. We have an article regarding this process in the Transnational Journal, and we would be happy to provide you with a link to this as well. So if you would like a copy of that, just go ahead and send me a message here in the chat, and I would be happy to send that over to you. Okay, so before we move on to discuss the future of our reports and give you a picture of what is being enhanced in the client admin site, I would like to pause and give you a chance to ask any questions you might have at this point. So if anybody wants to raise their hand, I can allow you to speak, or you can type your question here in the chat box, or you can wait until the very, very end and we can go ahead and move on to the future of reports and then ask if you have any questions after that. I'll just give a, okay, John, I will send you a copy of that Transnational Journal article. Okay, anything else? All right, we'll go ahead and move forward then.
That was someone.
Oh, in the Q&A. Okay, how do we access the report that provides reasons why students answered questions incorrectly? That is listed under reports. And then do you know the next option? I don't know if I.
Reports.
It's under reports.
Under reports and then supplemental reports.
Supplemental. Okay, so reports and then supplemental reports, and that is the title of that report is called the Response Distractor Report. So that is available for you there. Okay, any other questions? All right, I'll keep an eye on that Q&A too. Okay. Thanks, Brian.
Okay, so now we will go into the future of reports. We have sent out a couple of emails about this. So some of you may be aware that this is coming soon. Over the past year, our team has been working to make our reports even more valuable for our clients. Not only will they look better, but they'll have some added data, and the report wizard will soon include an interactive report preview feature. The client admin site will also be updated with the ability to access your favorite reports right from the dashboard. The data provided in the internal analysis report will not change. However, an added bonus will be the new executive summary page illustrated here. And this is just one of the added features. The data will be the same, but we're adding some additional data too that clients have requested through their feedback over the years. This new page will make a snapshot of key data immediately and readily available at the beginning of the report. In addition, percentile rank and completion time data will be illustrated in a new way. The percentile rank will now be shown using circles on the charts. The completion time data provided previously will now include measures of central tendency for the aggregate pool selected, including sample size, mean completion time, and mean score. The comparative data at the total, topic, and subject levels will now be displayed in horizontal rather than vertical bars. You will note in the illustration here that percentile rank circles appear on the bar chart as well. Highlighting has been added to the exam summary table for better presentation and easier interpretation of the data.
Similar to the new internal analysis report, we are adding an executive summary page to the external comparison report. The first chart shown here is a snapshot of your 3 exam topics that show the greatest percentage change between inbound and outbound scores compared with the benchmarks you choose. The second chart provides a visual side-by-side comparison of your total exam results with your selected benchmark. And the third chart shows your total score percentage change comparison with the benchmark. Again, comparative data will be displayed with the horizontal bars rather than vertical bars. The side-by-side comparison with your chosen benchmark is combined here rather than in separate charts. Each individual topic will also have its own topic score comparisons chart and difference in percentage change comparison. Finally, at the end of each new report, an updated chart for relative interpretation of learner competency will be provided. For a new assessment, this chart can be used to grade an exam using the percentiles calculated from the aggregate pools. Once your school has data from at least 50 exams from the same assessment, the grade scale report can be generated to provide a grading curve based on your students' results.
The new gap analysis report identifies potential learning gaps by combining elements from 3 reports: the longitudinal report, the internal analysis report, and the response distractors report. This report provides a comparative analysis of topic and subject level data against one external benchmark, while summarizing program data over multiple exam periods. This analysis identifies trends in exam results and potential gaps in student retained knowledge. The gaps are color-coded at the topic and subject levels to draw attention to opportunities for reinforcement. Further analysis of student error results inform program directors on opportunities to reinforce and develop student knowledge in key topic and subject areas. One of the most exciting aspects of the future of our reports is the new report preview feature in the report wizard. With this feature, you'll be able to have your results at your fingertips and look at them using different criteria without having to generate the report. This feature will replace the HTML format option when generating reports, because you will be able to copy and paste your tables and charts directly from the preview. In addition, when you generate reports, they will not immediately download to your computer. They will actually go into a queue, and then they'll be uploaded to a My Reports tab within the dashboard. So all of the reports that you generate will be saved there, and you can download them anytime that you want to and go back to previously downloaded reports. Here at Peregrine, it is our mission to make a difference in the world by fostering innovation, growing and developing leaders who can solve the world's complex problems, and improving the quality of higher education, turning data into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom, and wisdom into action. The important thing is not to stop questioning. So here's another opportunity for questions.
Okay, so we have one in the chat box. Let me see. Is it possible to provide the number of schools in the pools in the future reports? A list of schools in the pools would be helpful as well in the report. So we will still have the client schools and aggregate report and the aggregate extraction report available with the updated client admin site.
Yeah,
okay.
all information is available now in our reports, in those aggregate reports, and those aggregate reports will still be available.
Yeah, so in the client admin site, you always have access to see that. So you can't select specific schools to compare yourself to, but you can see what schools are included in those aggregates that you select. So you can see what schools you're comparing yourself to. But does this exist in the report? So it's a separate report that you run to see those client schools in there. So the aggregates that you select will be listed like located inside the US, but then you can go to the client aggregate report or client schools and aggregate report and see those listed. She said, can it be combined? Go ahead, Laura.
No, not at this time. We have like 12 separate reports, and you can run them as often as you'd like in as many different ways as you'd like using different criteria, but they cannot be combined. You would have to run them separately.
Okay, good question. We can provide our contact information if we want to go ahead to the next slide. And if you would rather just reach out to us directly or give us a call, we would be happy to collaborate with you, go into your account and navigate the client admin site with you, provide you with a client admin tour if you haven't received one, or if it's been a while since you've received one, just to show you everything that's available in there for you, walk through your data. If you aren't a Peregrine client, I know there was 17% of you that answered that, we would be happy to just set up a call and just talk about some of our solutions with you. Maybe there's an area that you need some help in or have some questions about, but you're not really sure how to navigate that. We would be happy to just talk to you and kind of figure that out with you. So please reach out to our email or give us a call and we'd be happy to collaborate with you.
Thank you for joining us today. As Ashley said, please don't hesitate to reach out if you just want to talk or go over anything that we talked about today.
All right, I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks so much.